There's a place here called Paradise. It's beautiful, but all right, guys, let's jump into it. Today we're going to talk about top 10 things that I don't like about the DR. Hey, look it, there's no perfect place on this earth. I don't care what anybody says. You know, every place has its issues. But this is my top 10 things. Well, let me say this one. This one almost made the list, was the furniture prices for the couches and the chairs and things like that. Seem a little bit high for what you get, you know, but it quite didn't make my top 10, but it almost made the list, the furniture price. All right, number 10, the lack of customer service. I know we're in the tropics in the Caribbean, so sometimes it's mañana, you know, tomorrow. Again, tomorrow comes, it's mañana again. So you have to be prepared for that. If you're a wound up type of person and you want everything done and like this on this particular time, you said this, you know, you're gonna have an issue. But hey, you know, sometimes you just gotta be like, hey, it is what it is, you know. Hey, mañana, okay. You can choose to deal with that person again, you know, or try to find somebody else. You know, it ain't that big deal, so don't go crazy over it. But the lack of service, and sometimes like at the banks, man, it seems like they have lines around the block. Oh my goodness. I've never been in one of those lines, because luckily where I'm at, the bank kind of runs pretty smooth and it's not a big line. But man, you go to some of the other cities, some of the bigger cities, and man, the lines at the bank can be just ridiculous. I don't know how many hours these people are spending in the line. Honestly, it's gotta be some hours. It's gotta be hours. It's like every day. So it's crazy. So it's the service and the bank lines. It's gotta be number 10. Number nine is like lack of public restrooms. You know, it's just lacking. And then on some of the restrooms, and in some of the restrooms, there's no toilet paper, so you have to just keep that in mind. That's why in one of my videos, if you go back, look at my road trip tips for the DR, one of those tips was to carry some toilet paper with you. You know, carry a roll of toilet paper in the car, in your motorcycle, whatever the case may be. But it's just a lack of bathrooms and the lack of like the quality of the bathroom, you know. All right, number 8 is the lack of overpasses in some of the cities. The lack of like the highways and byways to get you from one side of the city to the other. Now they do have highways here that may take you near the cities, and you can kind of jump on and, you know, jump off the highway and go to the city. And I know in Santo Domingo, they have like the underpasses you can go through the underpasses, and that's very helpful. But a lot of places, you know, you may just want to get to the other side of the city, but you got to drive through the city. You got to deal with everything that comes along with driving in the city, the motos. But I just wish that, you know, there were more highways or overpasses. But I know, you know, that's not going to happen anytime soon. All right, number 7, what I don't like. Now I love music. I love the merengue, the bachata. I love salsa. I love all types of music. But man, sometimes they just play it. It's just ear piercing. So, man, and sometimes, you know, you could be asleep or getting ready to fall asleep, and you'll have, man, somebody playing some loud music come through, or you'll have a loud moto. The motos can be extremely loud. Gonna happen anytime soon. So that's just one thing that I don't like, you know. I mean, but that's the culture here, so I'm not trying to change it. I'm just saying I don't like it. Can I not like it? And I'm not the only person. It's not just the gringos or the tourists that don't like it. It's some local Dominicans, they don't like it either. So it's just not just foreigners. But it's on the list. Number 6 is the minimum recycling. You hardly see any recycling in this country. I think I've seen a little recycling here in Bay with some bottle tops or things of that nature. But yeah, just the lack of recycling here. Cycling is good for the country. It's good for the world, good for the earth. But you know, it is what it is. You just try to do the best you can do, and that's all you can do. So, but it's on the list. Lack of recycling. Number 5 is places jacking up the price just because you're a gringo, just because you're a foreigner. There are some stores here that they don't do the scan system. They just tell you the price. And so, yeah, some stores will jack up the price on you, or whatever the case may be, or some tour companies, they'll jack up the price on you, or whatever it is, whatever somebody's selling. Just put it like that. That is not like open to the public, like everybody sees the price on it. If the price is not seen in public, then they can jack it up. So, I don't like that. I've been to a few places where I go and buy some foods or some groceries or some fruits, and they just jack the price up on me. I'm like, man, I come here like all the time. Like, why y'all jacking the prices up? So that's why a lot of times I stay to the big stores, to the Jumbos, to the La Serenas, and if I got to get something, I just go there. I go there where I know they're gonna scan it. It's gonna be all good. So, you just lost a customer. And I don't like it, but you know what? I don't have to spend my money there. I can go. I've got options. So I don't like it, but it's all good. All right, number 4. It kind of falls in the same line as number 5, jacking the prices up. It's the cops. The cops pulling you over, trying to get money. Nobody likes that, especially if you didn't do anything wrong. But you just don't like it. I let me say this. I've never paid anything to a cop. I've never paid them money. I've offered money, but I've never paid anything. I have not gotten a ticket. So, but I just don't like that feeling, So it is what it is, All right, number 3. Number 3 is good old mosquitoes. Man, one thing I do not like about the DR is the amount of mosquitoes. But in some places, let me be honest. Let me keep it real. In some places, I've noticed that the mosquitoes weren't that bad. We've been to different parts of the country. We've been to different Airbnbs and different places, and I've noticed that, or even here in Bayi Bay, yeah, we may stay at one place that's got bad mosquitoes, but the next place doesn't. And with that, if you're in a high rise, mosquitoes don't, I'm gonna give you a quick note. Mosquitoes don't like to go up high. So if you're on the 3rd floor, 4th floor or higher, your chances are you're gonna have very limited mosquitoes. But for the most part, the mosquitoes, I don't like the mosquitoes here. Yeah, there are plenty of mosquitoes in the US, especially in the South in the summertime. Yeah, you're gonna have probably just as many mosquitoes, but hey, I don't like the mosquitoes. All right, number 2. Number 2 is just the overall, like, it's a lot of people call it a developing country. And so you might have places that look kind of unkept, dilapidated, overgrown, just trying to find the words for it. But you'll see places where there are a lot of trash in the streets. I mean, I've seen some places where, man, it's just like, what in the world is going on? Like, why is there so many trash just in the street or on the side of the road? Like bags and diapers and and stuff. So it, some places it can be very trashy, So yeah, that's number 2. I mean, but now don't get me wrong. This is a beautiful country. It is an absolutely, oh my goodness, it is an absolutely beautiful country. Absolutely beautiful. And I've talked with Dominicans that born Dominicans and have lived here for a long time, or maybe they back in the US now and come back. I've talked to them that they say it before I can say it. Like, I try not to say it because there are a lot of places in the US that's dirty. A lot of places in the US is trashy too, so don't get me wrong, but it's different here. But I've talked to locals, the Dominicans, and they brought it up on how people just, it seems like the culture just don't care about, like Mother Nature. Like, it's to me, it feels like they just don't know how beautiful their country is. Like, they just don't know how beautiful it is here. And it could be so much more beautiful if they just had some type of inclination of loud moto, loud moto, of just doing better, just doing better, you know. But that's the culture here. You know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take the good with the bad. All right, guys, the number one thing that I don't like about the DR, I don't know, did you guess it? Have you already figured it out? The one thing that I don't like the most about the DR, it's the driving. Come on. It's the actual driving in the city streets. Oh, man. I'm sure you heard of me talking about it before. I'm sure. If you watched any other videos, you probably heard of me talk about the driving. So, you know, if you've never been here, you come here, you have been forewarned. And you know what? I heard about this before I even came here. Before I even came to the country, put one foot on the ground here, I had heard people talk about it. So it didn't shock me as much as it probably do some people. So I was kind of prepared for it. I heard about some stories, some situations, seen some videos. So I was kind of prepared for it. But it still is not going to knock it down on my list. It's still number one. Just the driving, and people are like, man, they just do whatever they want to, especially on the motos. Now the motos is like it's no law for the motos, for the motorcycles. But even the cars, I mean, just people driving in general, it's like it's just it's bad. But you know what I've kind of got used to it. Now I've kind of got used to it. I drive in it, and I really don't have any problems with it. But some things just like every time I drive, it's just some things like, man, I've never seen that before. Like it's like I never seen that before. Like, hey, look at that. You see that? But guys, that's my top 10 things about what I don't like about the DR. From number 10 down all the way down to number 1. But guys, thanks for watching. And remember, hey, keep it positive, guys. Remember, you got to take the good with the bad. You know, if you can't deal with some of those things, you know, it might not be the place for you. But remember, guys, there's no perfect place on this earth. People talk about paradise. There's a place here called paradise. It's beautiful, but it is not the real paradise. So, guys, keep that in mind. Thank you for watching. Remember to watch out for coconuts. Peace.